If I wanted to take over a nation, I wouldn't start with tanks, guns, weaponry. I'd start with comfort. In this video, I'm going to talk you through my 8-step evil plan on how I plan to take over the UK. Now, the first thing I would do is I would attack the men. Okay? And the way I'd attack men is I would make them docile, lazy, and distracted. And this is actually going on in your day-to-day lives. Things like Netflix. I was speaking to a guy the other day, and he prides himself on how quickly he can get through a fucking box set. That is the state of affairs right now. You're laughing. It's true. Also, when we look at the diet that we're consuming, I'm not talking just about food. That is a part of the problem. But the things that we consume on our phone are making us so docile, so lazy, so distracted, it's ridiculous. So we're looking at things like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. You've got your diet, so you've got junk food. Now this is for you wankers out there. Pornhub. I don't know what it is, I just hear people talk about it all the time. I don't know what it is. So all this is readily available this day and age. And it's there to soften you. I'm not here trying to push some propaganda for the sake of pushing propaganda. That is the reality of it. Think about how many times you're distracted throughout the fucking day. Look at your screen time. It's disgusting. And the reason why I'd attack men in this way is because the men are the backbone of society. And if you make the men docile, soft, lazy, distracted, then all the rest of my evil steps would be easy to implement. Now, the second step is attacking the women. And the way I do that, I make them believe that their beauty is their only asset. It's the only currency that they have. And the way I would do that is through media, and also push a narrative where we don't need men. You know, that sort of shit. I think it was that Destiny Child's song, Independent Women, or something like that. And that sort of propaganda is being pushed, and it's teaching women that motherhood is a burden. And when we look at it from a statistical standpoint, women are waiting till late in their 30s to have children. And I would argue, call me crazy for this, I believe mothers play the biggest role when it comes to our society, raising children. And finally, I would use the whole premise of equality and confuse it for sameness. You see, women and men have different roles in society. This whole thing about equality, we are not equal. Men and women are not equal. We have roles within society, and our roles are very different. The real equality is the amount of weight that we both carry. Both roles are important, and we confuse equality for sameness. Now, the next step is break the home. And the way I would do that is the cost of living has to be so high that one income can't support a household. So what I'd do is I'd make sure that both partners have to go to work just to survive, not for the nice things, just to survive, just to get by. And that way the children would then be distracted by the same things that the men and the women are distracted by. And then I would control the children, and that way I can control their minds as they're growing up. I've got less enemies that way, okay? So I'd make everything expensive as hell. And then I would raise the children. Once again, media. Step number 4, I would punish effort. And what that looks like is I would hike taxes so high, especially for those who are trying to become successful, those who are running businesses. I'd make it so difficult for these people who are trying to create a better life, that do step outside of the 9 to 5. I would tax them so heavily to the point where what we're seeing now, people are leaving, the millionaires are leaving, the billionaires are leaving, they're going to places like Dubai. That's how badly I'd tax everyone. I'd make sure I punish excellence. Step number 5, I would create the enemy. Migrants, the working class, Muslims, and then this can go both ways. You see loads of infighting within the country nowadays. For me to destabilize a nation, I would need to make sure that there is unrest within that nation. Step number 6, distraction. Whilst I put all these evil plans into play, I would make sure that you're distracted. Gossip, news. Make sure that you're worrying about something that I put out there. Make sure that you're worrying or gossiping about something that has fuck all to do with your life. I mean, if you're a grown-ass man and you're watching Love Island, there is something very fucking wrong with that. Something very wrong. So look, that's how I would, and I think for me, this has got to be the biggest one. If I can distract people from what I'm doing outside of these 8 steps, that's going to be the key. Number 7, I'll put that down here. Number 7, I would manufacture chaos. And the way I would do that, I would bomb foreign countries, displace their people, and then welcome them here. And when anything goes wrong, I'd be like, look, they're the fuckers. That's the reason why the country's fucked. So I'd create the problem and then provide the solution. I'd light the fire and then give the fire extinguisher. And finally, number 8, I'll sell you the solution. And that would be a convenient digital ID. Now, in reality, this isn't my plan. It's theirs. Now, what I'm about to give you is exactly what you can do to fight back. So step number 1 on how we are going to fight back. We've got to start with the men. Like I said, men are the backbone of society, and I work with men specifically, and they have the same problems. They're lacking discipline, they're distracted, they're soft, they're not going to the gym, they're not making enough money, they're clinging to fucking safety. That's not how men are wired. Men are wired to take risks. Men are wired to be uncomfortable. It is not natural for a man to be comfortable. So we need to choose our discomfort in a constructive manner. So the first thing I would do is, like I said, build the men. And what does that look like? They would need to be strong. Yes, go to the gym, but also learn how to fight. I can't tell you how important it is to be able to defend yourself as a man. If I didn't know how to defend myself, I'd be insecure as hell as well. And it's imperative. I can't tell you like how important it is. Like when you walk into a room, not saying you've got to go in there with an ego and you know you're going to damage everyone and cause a nuisance, not at all. A lot of the time, the threat of violence creates peace. Like look at the nations of the world who possess nuclear weapons. They all fucking hate each other, pretty much. They can't stand each other. But because they all got nukes, guess what? They kind of get along. Nothing's really popped off. And I don't think it will. Unless someone gets a hold of a nuke, some madman gets hold of a nuke, but that's a different story anyway. The second thing I would do is build the mind of the men. And the way I would do that, and the way that you should be doing it, is for an hour a day. Commit that to learning a new skill. Because at the moment, the reason why we are in such a decline economically, we haven't really got a tax problem. What we have is a productivity problem. If you look at the stats from 2024, we are in a £32 billion trade deficit, which means we consume more than what we export. Because we've got fuck all to export nowadays. We've got nothing to sell. You've got people in India right now who are skilled, more skilled than the people here, and then can do the work at a fraction of the price. That's where we are losing. So I would build the mind and make sure that we are capable and have skill sets that are going to allow us to win. Number 3, brotherhood. Everyone's kind of fighting against each other right now over stupid shit. Like I come from a background where there's gangs, there's postcodes, okay? But then if you extrapolate that all the way out, you've got people fighting over colour, over social class, anything they can think of, religion. But if we all come together in the UK, we wouldn't be getting bullied like this. So make sure that you've got a brotherhood, people that you can lean into that are doing 1 and 2. Very important. And step number 4, build provision. Now what I'm talking about here is, in school, they do not teach you how to be financially literate. Just teach you how to fucking follow orders. And that's why I never did well in school. I mean, academically, I was gifted. I am, let's put it this way, I am an Asian intellectual academic underachiever. Let's put it that way. That's what I class myself as. But it's because I challenged the status quo. I was always challenging the teachers, not just to be a prick, well, not all the time, but I was questioning what they were teaching and I'd get sent out. So build financial literacy. I'm just going to leave this as a subheading here. Understand how money works. Because if you don't understand how money works, you haven't got a chance. So look, these are the state of affairs in this day and age. This is the reality that we're living in. These are the rules of the game. So you either moan about the rules or you learn how to play the game really well. Now, if you are a bloke, if you are a man and you are trying to level up, I've got a few resources below. I've got a diagnostic tool, which you can tap into for free. Or if you want to work with me, I've got the 28-day Edge Reboot, which allows men to build back discipline over the space of 28 days. And that does come with a money-back guarantee if you complete that program. I'm going to leave it on that one. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.